I am the guest.
To the IFCO-Chiro TV live broadcasting right now. We have people that are watching us. We have people that are using Twitter. They're using hashtag IFCO to connect with us. And they might be asking you questions. They might totally come out left field.
Beautiful. It is my pleasure to be here. You guys are doing a great job. So I do appreciate it.
Let's introduce. So we're live from New Beginnings. It's the IFCO-TV at the IFCO booth. And I'm Frank Hahn. This is our co-host, Bryn Gillow. We're sitting with the man who needs no introduction, but it is Bobby Tarantino. And he lives in the chiropractic world. And we are going to ask that particular question in a couple of moments. Why we think that is, or you think that is, what makes it that you're living in a chiropractic world? In fact, let's start with that one.
Why am I living in a chiropractic world? Listen, ever since I've been in chiropractic and I have understood chiropractic and its philosophy, I gear everything in my life to that philosophy, because that's what philosophy is, isn't it? It's a reason for being. It's a method to base your life on, and not only because the chiropractic philosophy is really not just chiropractic. You see, because the innate philosophy of understanding a bigger thing and that inner guidance, that get away from the educated and let the inner guidance guide and direct you. That's not just chiropractic. That is life. And so Evelyn and I, throughout our life, have allowed our bodies to express that innate intelligence to express itself throughout our way of life. So, for example, I'm going to give you an example. If we get a good feeling, so we have a good feeling for this piece of property that we're looking for a house, let's say, and we come out of that place and we say, you know what, I just feel this is the right place. That feeling, that intuitive feeling, that woman's intuition, Bryn, that can happen to men too, by the way.
Yes. Oh, really?
And that intuition, that men's intuition is what innate is doing. It's guiding you. It's telling you this is the right house for you. And we'll come out of that and we'll make a decision. See, we'll make life decisions on that innate guidance. So we don't think about decisions sometimes. So living in a chiropractic world, and it's not just the chiropractic aspect, which obviously, everything in my life is based on, subluxation correction and letting your inner self express itself more perfectly through your corporal body. That's all important. But inner guidance, that innate philosophy that guides our lives, really makes me live in a chiropractic world, or I should say a chiropractic philosophical world. So that's why I say that.
That's fair.
I know, Bob, we had quite a few questions prepared.
Sure.
So Bryn, can you ask one of the questions that we had prepared?
Sure, absolutely. Can you share with us you've been around New Beginnings since
the beginning.
Infancy,
yes,
right?
We have.
So, looking back over all these years and all those seminars we've had here, do you have a favorite moment at New Beginnings?
Well, I got to tell you, every moment's favorite.
Of course, but can you pick one?
Well, I'm going to share a lot of them with you.
Thank you.
All right.
Look, we go back to, and we'll go into the history, because I know you guys wanted to talk about the history of not only chiropractic but New Beginnings.
Yes.
But let's talk about the history of favorite moments.
Okay.
At New Beginnings. And we go back to 1991. Okay. And in those years, we're talking about 22 years now, right, of chiropractic New Beginnings.
In 91 it started?
We started in 91.
Okay.
And Jim started it in his own little way in his office years before that. We'll get into the history later, but the favorite moments for 22 years now that we've been going together, the most important thing is the fellowship. And when I say every moment's a favorite moment, there is absolutely no place on earth, in my opinion, and I go back many years, there is no place on earth.
There's a video camera right behind you.
There's no place on earth. That's okay.
Hello, welcome back.
Welcome back. There is no place on earth where there is so much love and fellowship for people who love the things that you love. So every moment that I'm walking around here, every moment that I'm in the room, every time we see somebody walk by, that moment that moment is a favorite moment, okay? Because we get the hug, we get I love you, and believe it or not, that is said a lot, isn't it, Bryn?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not flippantly either. It's sincere. When I say I love you, it's because I know that you are my siblings.
Yeah.
My siblings. Now let's talk about incidents. We've had a wedding here.
Really?
We actually had a bride and groom, chiropractors, get married at New Beginnings. The ceremony was a ceremony performed by the Congregation of Universal Wisdom.
Wasn't that Brian and his wife?
No, it was not Brian and his wife. They had an honorary wedding, but they had already been married.
Okay.
So we had just like an honorary thing for
Yes,
them.
okay.
Wow.
That's Brian Savlosky. But before Brian, and I think that's why we did it with him. Before that, these people actually got married at a ceremony. Jim Dubell, the founder,
Right.
gave away the bride. Isn't that beautiful?
Yes.
Walter Schilling, who is, I call him the Pope of the Congregation of Universal Wisdom.
Yes.
The Pope performed the ceremony, and we sat in rows just like you would go into a church. It was in another place that we used to have the New Beginnings meetings. It was outside. It was a beautiful day. It was sunshine. I believe it was in April, just like now, and it was just a perfect day for a wedding, you know. And the bride and groom got married. We threw confetti, you know. It was so that's a memorable moment.
Wow.
But that also it speaks to the fellowship and the love that we have for each other. That these people felt so comfortable in getting married amongst their peers.
I wonder if dentists would want to go to
surgeons,
a seminar and get married.
Hey, you know, surgeons or proctologists, you know.
Yes.
So let's say for a viewer at home who's never been to New Beginnings at all, give them what an experience is like at New Beginnings.
A viewer. First of all, those of you out there, look at me and listen to me. Your life in chiropractic, for sure, will never be as successful unless you hang with people of like minds. Now, even if you're not totally convinced to the philosophical way of practicing chiropractic, we embrace you. We're not going to shun you. We're not going to say, oh, you don't understand our way of thinking and we don't want to have anything to do with you. That's been done too long. Right. We can't put up those barriers anymore. We have to embrace everyone. I was embraced as a non-believer, if you want to call it that, before, in my infancy in chiropractic. I was embraced by people who said, you know, you're a real jerk, Bob, but I want you to see a better way. You understand? And I was open to that. And so had they shunned me, I would have probably been, you know, doing manipulation under anesthesia, 45 years later. But they didn't. They brought me into the fold, and that's really what I'm talking to you about out there. We want you to come and experience the love and appreciation for chiropractic. And we're gonna want you here. Yeah. We're gonna welcome you with open arms. We're gonna make you comfortable. And I don't think anybody who comes here, even for the first time, will ever feel uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. It's just amazing. I'd go out of my way. I'm one of the ones that really goes out of their way to, you know, I'll see a new person. I never saw you here. What's your name? Where you're from? Give them a hug. A lot of people don't expect that. They kind of do this.
Yeah, you surprised my husband when he came here for the first time. He's like, whoa, what's with the guys hugging me?
And then all of a sudden, the second time, you say, hey, where's my hug? You know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we definitely embrace new people. And we want them, really, we're selfish in a sense. Because the more people that we can understand, that can understand our way of chiropractic, you know, and doing it the right way. And to be honest with you, I'm looking to my left and I'm getting really nervous here because I don't like that machine stuff. Yeah, I don't like even instrument adjusting. To be honest with you, I'm really a purist, you know, and I've learned to accept, you know, the instrument for some chiropractors who maybe, you know, have lost the ability to manipulate their fingers. To give the adjustment, I mean, I've been doing it for 45 plus years. And my hands, I mean, look at them. Can you see those? They're messed up, but they still work, and I can give the adjustment. That's the only time I can see using an instrument. So what I'm thinking of is I'm a purist, and I just want people to understand that you can, number one, you can be very successful giving just an adjustment and telling the story and having people come for a lifetime of care for themselves and their families. And that's really, my selfishness is to introduce that to new people who come here. And that's really what I want them to do. I want them to get that big idea.
Yeah.
That big idea can be gotten here, and that's really why I want people to come.
I'm looking on the other side of the camera, and you guys can't see this at home, what we're seeing, but there's 1, 2, 3, there's 4 chiropractic tables. They've been filled all day long. People getting their spine checked and adjusted just to express better health.
You know,
That's
the ladies that unknowingly walked into the picture here,
Yes.
they're not part of New Beginnings. They're not chiropractors or CAs.
No.
That is a spa retreat weekend girls group that just wandered
really?
in
Oh,
here
wow.
and they're asking for adjustments.
Oh, I
Yeah.
can't tell you.
Isn't that cool?
Yesterday, listen to this one.
this is
Yesterday,
awesome.
I see a guy walking around, and he's an older man. I'm an older man, but he was a little older even than me. And I said, "Hey, how you doing?" I gave him a big hug, and he says, "Wow." He says he gave me a hug, and he says, "I'm the bus driver. I'm the bus driver." We're speaking on television
video.
right
If
now.
you would like to join us,
Would
we're
you like to
talking
wave
live
and say
here.
hello?
Say hi. Good.
Hi.
Stick your head in there.
Put it on camera.
Hello.
Hello.
So and we've got a couple of onlookers now, but we've got
Yes.
about 150 people right now that we're looking at out
Yes.
there.
And that's why my eyes are always drifting. I could never.
Right now we're in between talks, and Jack Borla from California
Yes.
is making funny faces. Jack Borla from California, well known throughout the profession, okay, is making funny faces at us as we're talking. Anyway, this guy comes in, I give him a big hug, and he says, "I'm the bus driver. I drove the students up from
from Sherman. Oh,
so
wow.
I put my arm around and says, "Come on," and says, "Sit down and listen to the talks." And I can't tell you how many people have come, lay people, who we've grabbed and said, "You know what? Do you know anything about chiropractic?" And he said, "No." Come on in and listen. You're welcome to come and listen, because you know what? The messages that you get from the podium are not just chiropractic messages. They're life-changing messages, aren't they?
My husband is a landscape designer, and he gets so inspired when he comes here.
Yeah.
You know, so he leaves here wanting and feeling like being a better person.
Yeah, it's a good, it's a warm fuzzy feeling coming out, and it's right now. It's Saturday afternoon,
Right.
And this is my sad time now. I start getting sad.
No, not yet.
I start getting sad because I know that it's one more day and it's over, and then we have like, oh my God, we got to wait another 4 months now, because we're going through. This is our longest span of nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
From April until October.
Yeah.
It's our longest span, and then October and January comes real quick. So I mean, I'm really getting nostalgic and feeling really bad that this really important part. This is my family. This is you are my family.
Bob, I'm glad you stopped in because we're talking about the bonfire later on, and I've never experienced that.
I
with
haven't
New
either, but
Beginnings.
I heard it's something good.
So it's really fun.
It has happened in a few years, I've heard.
Well, we used to do firewalks.
Fireworks, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
In fact, some of our biggest publicity, quite honestly, many years ago in New Beginnings. I'll share this with you.
Okay.
Oh, here's a memorable moment.
Yeah.
We had a firewalk. We do it every April, and this particular firewalk, the fire that was not made with soft wood. For some reason, they sent the wrong type of wood to burn.
Wow.
So instead of the soft wood, now soft wood, when you walk on it, when you walk on soft wood, your feet go into the flame. It can burn if you stay there, but it doesn't stick to your feet. Hardwood, on the other hand, the splinters that are burning stick to your feet.
Right. Oh wow.
So
they remain hot.
They remain hot, and this is a memorable moment. What happened was, people who were walking the fire burnt their. I mean, they were taken to the Monmouth Medical Center with second-degree burns of the bottom of their feet. And of course, the crazy chiropractors, CBS News, ABC News, New York stations, it was all over the United States the chiropractors at New Beginnings with this firewalk have injured, there was injuries, and these crazy chiropractors, the things that they do. Guess what? That next New Beginnings, we had more people than we knew what to do with. They wanted to come to New Beginnings because where else can you go and walk on fire to come out of your comfort zone and say, I can do it.
Yeah.
And that's what it was all about. So the bonfire, we're not going to walk through.
Yeah.
We're just going to do some kumbaya thing, just going to get around. It's again part of the fellowship.
Right.
And then later on we're going to honor Edwin Cordero, who's the new president of Sherman, and he's a wonderful guy.
Yeah.
And then after that, the fellowship continues because we're going to have a group called the Beatlemania.
Wow.
And Beatlemania is going to perform for us. We're going to sing old rock and roll.
Nice.
We're going to dance until 2 in the morning.
All right.
And we're going to get it down. And we're going to have so much fun. And that's part of what a New Beginnings experience is. That's why we have people coming from Montana, from Europe, from California. God, I mean, it's wonderful.
The only people we're missing are you.
We are missing you.
And
Come on out next
So if
time.
you are not coming, you better sign up. NBChiro, nbchiro.com, okay, is where you want to go and sign up. You'll learn all about us, and you can actually get information about the next and future seminars that we run.
And it's not only really good chiropractic, but I've been to some good parties. These here,
We can party,
You know,
We
my
can
goodness,
party.
the Halloween parties,
Oh,
all
oh
of
my
those,
goodness.
the pajama parties.
Oh, the pajama party.
Oh my God, so much fun! I have never seen people of such diverse ages all dance
Well, we
together.
having fun or
It
what?
was hilarious.
And
Yes.
you mentioned the parties that we've had. I'll never forget. We've had people get up now. Tony Panzica. Remember Tony last? Tony Panzica plays rock and roll. In fact, he put his way through chiropractic college.
Wow.
At Palmer, playing rock and roll. He was fronting a band. He came here and he sang for us. I Don't Need No Doctor. I don't know if you know that, but I think it's by Rush, but I'm not sure exactly who it is. And so Tony's doing his thing with this big band. We had about a 15-piece group. Bobby Bandera. Bobby Bandera is one of Bruce Springsteen's musicians. So Jim Dubell knows all those guys. He used to take care of Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band.
Really?
Oh
I
yeah.
did not know that.
Oh yeah. So
Interesting.
he knows all these people from the shore. He used to also work at Stone Pony when he was putting his way through college.
Cool. Awesome.
He was Jim gets all these great musicians to come and play for us, and we get it down. So yeah, we can party. We can really party. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's great.
So now, for the folks at home, if you have any questions for Bobby T,
Bobby
call
T?
you Bobby T?
Sure.
If I can call you that. So if you have any questions, remember, use the chat box feature or hashtag IFCO, and we'll get some questions going for Bobby T.
I would love that.
Yeah,
I would love
perfect.
that.
We're going to continue with another question. I think that we had some written down for us. Let's see. If you don't mind, Bryn, I'll ask one.
Please, go for
Okay,
it.
great. Let's see here.
I'm
We
gonna
have.
see some people writing in.
Okay, so you've been in practice for a while. What's one piece of advice that you can give to a new graduating student getting ready to get into practice? What would you say would be the best piece?
Okay, it doesn't take a lot of money. It really doesn't take a lot of money. No matter what they tell you. I mean, I practiced for 46 years now. I use a flat Lloyd bench. Mm-hmm. It's $350, folks.
Yep.
400 maybe if you're lucky, right? You need a flat Lloyd bench. You need 2 hands. Those come free with your body.
Yes.
That's
Pretty cool. Yeah. You need a good mouth to express what chiropractic is all about to every man, woman, and child that you come in contact with forever. And a couple of waiting room chairs, and maybe a computer if you need a computer. If you do insurance work or whatever, you need a little computer. But ultimately, it's we're talking what, maybe $10,000. You don't need all the gizmos and the gadgets and the high-lows and all of that, and the marble floors.
Right.
You don't need that. All you need is a nice place to open up and tell a story, and you'll be really ultra successful. It's not. Evelyn and I have always said we could absolutely put a chiropractic office together for $5,000.
Yeah.
Even if you don't even need X-ray equipment, because I don't have it anymore in my office. I used to take X-rays on everyone, to analyze their spines. But I have a radiological group right down the bottom of around the corner from my office. So I've got a little letter. And it just says here, go here. This is the X-rays that I want. AP and lateral cervicals, and you can take a full spine X-ray because I like to see the whole spine. And send the X-rays to me, and they just the next morning they're under my door.
Right.
So you don't really need all of the bells and whistles to open up a practice. So for those of you who are thinking and contemplating going into practice, just realize it doesn't have to be ultra expensive.
I always share, I have quite a few students come in through my office and I chit-chat with them a bit, and I always say, well, what's the one thing that you need to have a practice? And they go and they say, oh, a table or a computer, or and we're boiling it down to a person. You need a person. If you have a person to check their spine, you have a practice.
That's it.
That's it. That's all you need.
And also,
you don't. I'm sorry, Bob. You don't need a chiropractic table. You can adjust them on the chair or on the floor. We learn how to use our skills to adjust people, but these are all things that you can add to your practice.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And never feel that Rome wasn't built in a day. Frank.
Right.
You know that. So you got to be patient and grow. The strong practices grow very slowly. Okay, they do grow slowly, but the basis, the foundation is stronger.
Yeah.
And please, please, please listen to me. Don't do things that are unscrupulous. There is a very tempting. It's very tempting.
Yes.
Because a lot of unscrupulous people in this world, and don't go to the dark side. And there is a dark side too. People try to take advantage of the new chiropractor, and they say, "Come on in, we'll pay you this much money, and you're going to make this money, and you're going to, make up cases, and you're going to do automobile accident stuff, and you're going all the stuff that's unscrupulous stuff that destroys my profession. Don't get tempted into that." You don't, the money is there, but you don't really want to.
There's nothing better than sharing chiropractic with someone and then letting them discover that, oh, this is not only good for me, but it's good for my family. My children can get adjusted. And,
absolutely.
And I find that happens in my office more than you think. So we have a big family practice too. Not as big as you had, but we're growing there. But yeah, we see families in the office, and most of the time it's the parents who say, I think this would be good for my children. Absolutely, and I just really wait for that opportunity to say, yeah, bring them in, let's get their spine checked, and see if there are any misaligned spinal bones.
Another thing, Frank, that you just mentioned, with children and all that, the most important thing is to make it affordable. All right, make it affordable for people. You can't have a fee structure that's going to force people to say, I can't afford that. So you really have to, if you want the families, you got to really make it affordable for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I told you we have family
fees.
Yeah, exactly right, in the office, and
absolutely.
And
encourages the families, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. So that's a very important point. I'm glad you brought that up for the new practitioner.
Now, when you were starting, let's say a little bit beyond the beginner, and how did you have families coming in, and what did you say to the families?
Well, first of all, how did I have families coming in?
Yeah.
First of all, I went out and talked chiropractic to every man, woman, and child on the face of this earth. I mean, that was like constant talking, going to people's houses, and, if I had a good patient, for example, I would tell them to invite me over for coffee on Friday night after dinner.
Right, yeah.
And invite your neighbors and your friends in for coffee and come meet my chiropractor. And believe it or not, it was amazing. It built my practice tremendously. Just, I came there with a spine and a coffee cake,
Yep. Oh, nice.
And we just, gave the talk to about 10 neighbors, and they all signed up. But you have to tell a story, okay? Yeah, and you have to be available. If you say your hours are from 9 until 11, your hours are from 9 until 11.
Right.
Many times in the beginning of my practice, I waited for people, to call. I mean, it wasn't something that was. People don't break down your door. You got to go and introduce yourself. I don't know what else.
I know we're connecting with people from the heart, but you have to also connect with people where they're at. So you're building relationships with people is essentially what we're doing.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And those relationships, by the way, and Evelyn and I now, our relationships are such that we have families. Actually, a lot of our friends are younger people. Evelyn and I go out to dinner with many of our families that we take care of. Husband, wife, and 2 little kids, and 3 little kids. We'll go out on a Friday night or during the week or a Saturday night. We'll have dinner together, and they become a family for us. And that's very common. Very common. So make relationships, build relationships.
Absolutely.
Past just the doctor-patient relationship. That's very important. Build a relationship.
Yeah, perfect. So we've been talking with Bobby Tarantino here, another great chiropractor from New Jersey. I've been
Jersey
throwing that
boy.
in all day.
Yeah, Jersey boy.
And so we've been talking on IFCO-TV. This is a wonderful program that the IFCO International Chiropractic Organization is bringing out to you. We're live from New Beginnings, happening on the other side of this wall. There's 1,000 people in attendance that are listening to all the speakers, and we just happen to be blessed enough to have some of the great ones talk with us throughout the day and share their pearls of wisdom with you guys out there. So Bobby, thanks so much.
I'm just blowing kisses to my friend
I apologize
Skip
for being
George, the man.
distracted in here in between. We had people signing up to be members of the IFCO.
Yeah, so many.
That's
been happening
Yes,
all day.
absolutely.
So many people have been joining the IFCO. You can go right to the website if you want to join the IFCO. It's IFCOChiro.org. And if you're watching us online, make sure you're sharing it with your friends on Facebook, on Twitter. It's IFCOChiro.org/live, Live. And if you wanted to chit chat with us through the chat box or chat features, it's on Twitter, #IFCO. Bob, thanks so much for stopping by.